my professors know it's okay.
It's getting the deep voice. The Adam's apple.
They work.
Trans people as political pariahs.
What is a woman?
The girl he loves is a girl, regardless of the genitalia that she was born with.
Pronouns are he, him. I'm 13 years old.
I was in the world caught up in sexual sin.
The ability to define what consent means to them.
Right now, a growing number of states are adding restrictions on gender transition care for minors, and there's a proposal to add Wisconsin to that list. At least 22 states have passed laws restricting gender transition care. Those are red on this map. Though in some, like Montana, those laws have been put on hold while court challenges play out.
Republican lawmakers are looking for co-sponsors for a bill that says doctors and other healthcare professionals could lose their license if they provide gender transition care to kids. Those lawmakers say they think this will protect children, but Democrats opposed to the bill say it will do just the opposite. The proposed legislation calls for banning sterilization surgeries and mastectomies, as well as the prescription of puberty blockers and hormones for people younger than 18.
Gender-affirming care does not ruin the lives of children, it saves them, and the people who introduce and support this legislation know that. The movement to legislate against the inclusion of trans people and against life-saving health care for transgender children is the first step in the concerted, organized, and explicit effort to eradicate and exterminate transgender people, and it will certainly not be the last. They know that the introduction and passing of the bills like these will kill trans people, including children, and that is their goal. It is the initiation of the solution of what fascists are calling, and I kid you not, the transgender question. Let that sink in.
The odds that this will lead to the deaths of some transgender youth in Wisconsin are incredibly high. As lawmakers, you have a constitutional obligation to put yourself above any particular religious ideology.
And at the time.
Standards are very well done, and I'm assuming the same standards I had to go through are applied to the kids. And then lastly, I want to talk something really interesting, and that's if you don't, I would have loved to go on the blockers. I want to just tell you really quickly what happens if you don't go on blockers. Well, the first, I think, and my understanding they are reversible, but I'd like to see more data on that actually. But anyway, one of the things that blocker stops is getting the deep voice. I'm stuck with this deep voice. And I think the blockers would have stopped that. And if you take them off the blockers, you can get. Another thing I have is like the Adam's apple, facial hair.
Time is up.
Real quick. I spent $5,000 trying to have my facial hair removed through electrolysis, and only half of it's gone. And then the most important thing is I had facial feminization surgery, and I paid that out of my own pocket. That was $25,000. I mean, my point is the blockers can prevent having to be forced to, and it caused a lot of stress for me today.
The results of transgender hormone replacement therapy are well studied, well documented, and they work. It works. Like I said, I've only been on it for 3 years, and I've already gotten excellent results. I've also undergone top surgery here actually at UW Health.
The people who elect you all see through all the tomfoolery and all the rigmarole. The hate and vitriol against trans people is clearly right-wing evangelical Christian nationalism, which is political propaganda being used to stoke division and push conservative ideologies so that certain representatives in this room can win re-elections and stay in office through gerrymandering and unfair grabs at power, all at the expense of people like me. Please stop using trans people as political pariahs.
It is my firm belief that young people should have the decision-making power over their bodies and have the ability to define what consent means to them. The adolescence years are a period of significant change and self-discovery, during which young individuals deserve to be supported and provided with gender-affirming medical treatment.
Thank you again, Mr. Grover. You recently, in the last question, stated that trans girls are I'm sorry, I don't have it exactly correct. Trans girls are a subset of women, and this bill excludes that protected subset of that group?
Yes, so the bill would divide a line between all women or girls participating in sports by saying some are allowed to participate and some are not.
Okay, so my only question is, what is a woman?
I can refer you to the bill. Let's see. the bill defines a female as, well, it doesn't. It just says that the sex is determined at birth by a physician, is reflected on the birth certificate.
I asked for the definition of a woman, not a female, or sex at birth.
So I can't help you. It doesn't appear in the bill.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
My son has known this girl since preschool and knew her prior to transition. And my 7-year-old child has had zero confusion. He knows that the girl he loves is a girl, regardless of the genitalia that she was born with. I ask you now to stop second-guessing parents, doctors, psychiatrists, and yes, even my 7-year-old. We know who our kids are, and we need the freedom to help them express it. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Lassie?
I've been in the Capitol today, as I'm sure you all have, 4 hours at this point. I've missed all my classes. My professors know it's okay. They encouraged me to be here. They also oppose the bill. For the record.
Are he, him. I'm 13 years old. Today I should have been at school, but instead I'm here having to defend my rights to be a trans person in this state. Around a year ago, I almost killed myself. Since, I have been put on puberty blockers and have received a bunch of care and support. I have been the happiest I've been in years, and I'm no longer suicidal at all. I am proof of what gender affirming care does and how it saves lives. The people who propose this bill do not want to keep kids safe. They want to push away and kill the ones they don't like. This bill makes zero sense and is helping nobody and is just hurting children. And for me to be able to be put on puberty blockers, we had to go through extensive research and go through. It's not something you can do really easily. It's a process, so it's not like people are just, yeah.
It's been long acknowledged that minors are not prepared to make life-altering decisions. That's why we don't allow them to get something as permanent as a tattoo. The idea that a child going through the discomfort of puberty will have the presence of mind to understand the full consequences of chemically altering that process is absurd, especially since our own scientists have yet to issue a comprehensive and cohesive study on the subject. Puberty is a time of transition, an acclimation to adulthood where the body reaches another stage in the completion of maturity. It's naturally uncomfortable. We go through many stages of it. Teething for a baby, pulling teeth as a child, and many more. You suffer through it, and you may never want to go through it again, but the end result was an enhancement of your previous natural capacities.
It's a sad day in America. I'm 60, going on 68 years old. I'm a Christian. I love God. I don't obey God out of duty. I obey God because I love him. Okay. He saved me. I was a fornicator. I was a sinner. I was in the world caught up in sexual sin. God set me free from that. And because he set me free from that, he have called me to set others free. God, and you say one God on the nation. I heard the Pledge of Allegiance right here in this room. One nation under God. Well, if you know anything about God, you got to look at Genesis 1:27. And it says that God made male and female. And he told them to go and multiply. Nothing is going to change that. You can cut off your put on or cut all these surgeons, these doctors are just mutilating human beings. These pharmaceutical companies, as I heard so many testimonies today, I'm not going to even try to add to them. You didn't heard enough evidence that these pharmaceutical companies and these doctors, you cannot put no trust in. You got to use some common sense here. Every last one of us in this room right here has a mother and a father. We look at the birth rate in America today, it has declined. The Bible has already spoke about these things. It grieves me because right now the way that we are living, it's going to kill us all. It's going to bring death. There is God. And it's sad that our legislators has no fear of God. And it's just not you guys. I want you to understand these things also. The church itself don't have no fear of God. So we're all in darkness right now. I just pray that you guys come to your common sense. These are children. Why are you sitting up there letting doctors get rich off the emotions of our children?
We're coming for your check.